The hog mollies. I'm going to put them all in one video. We're going to go over my top 15 offensive linemen in the 2022 NFL draft. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. With that being said, let's go ahead, get into the nitty-gritty. If you're wondering when we're going to be doing another Walk the Mock, I'm thinking it's going to be like Saturday noon time. So be on the look for that. I'll probably drop when we're going to do that live stream sometime today. But let's go ahead, get into it. Starting with Kellen Diesch. I got him here at 15. He is OT 9 for me. He is prospect rank 79. Nice and 79. And listen, he came into the Shrine Bowl, came into the Combine, obviously. Coming in with, big red indicator. Sub 33-inch arms. It's a bit worrisome. When you look at it, though, guys like Petit-Frere, Sean Slater, they had sub 33-inch arms. They've been just fine. So am I saying he's the same level of talent as those guys? Obviously not. I'm just saying it is something to note. But when it comes to Diesch, he's a former Texas A&M transferred to Arizona State in 2020. He displays great movement skills there for Herm Edwards and that offense. I think this guy's ideally like a outside zone tackle or guard. I think some teams might look at him as guard just because of the arm length, but I love how he moves. I love how he uses his hands. Like he's got quick hands, quick feet. The Shrine, I thought he put on a showing. Really wish he got a Senior Bowl invite. Not too sure why. Not much of a mover in the run game and in pass protection. He is susceptible to the bull rush if he's bull rushed by more powerful guys. He is a bit slim there at 6'7" and barely 300 pounds, 301. But you look at the numbers, man, 4.89, 40, 32.5 on the vert, 110 on the broad. This is a guy that can move. Like I said, great movement skills. I like that about him. I think he's obviously, you're just going to be looking at him for if you're like mainly a zone blocking scheme, but I think you could get one hell of a player at that. At number 14, Sean Ryan out of UCLA. He is actually my interior prospect 6. He's a former 4-star recruit with the track and field background. I think he was the shot put he used to do, and you can kind of tell because this guy's got heavy hands. He hits with a lot of pop. A lot. He was coming from mainly a zone offense over there under Chip Kelly. And I remember when I first fell in love with Sean Ryan because he played tackle for him. I think he's probably likely a guard in the NFL, but I do think he has tackle capabilities. But in 2020, probably some of his best tape, I would say, against Kayvon Thibodeau, he came away only allowing 1 pressure on 25 pass rushing snaps matched up with them. And then against Drake Jackson, a guy who has got insane movement skills, great explosiveness. The dude had some good reps just mirroring him. Now, this year, when it came to that matchup against KT, it didn't really happen because, they kind of schemed either help or they schemed him they basically schemed Ryan away from KT, which I didn't really get that. Like even in the run game, they had him more sideways attacking either the second level or going out, opposed to, going one-on-one with them, which is what it is. I get it. It's KT. KT's pretty darn impressive. But I do like Sean Ryan. There are times where he does struggle to set his anchor, but I thought he's a bit more consistent this year at that. Like his freshman year, if you go back, watch some of that, it's some rough tape, but I think he was like, the first freshman starter on the offensive line in like 20 years for UCLA. So, hey, man, put that little feather in your cap right there. The length, I actually thought that would have been questionable for teams, and he comes in literally just barely like a half inch below 33. So again, some teams might look at that and be like, oh, he's a god. But he's a solid run blocker. And, he can be a bit of a lunger in the run game, but I like the dude's movement skills. He hits hard. Yeah, say here at 14. And then number 13, Nicholas Petit-Frere out of Ohio State. Former 5-star recruit. He started right tackle in 2020, moved over to left tackle. He has got an ideal frame, build, a guy that probably could play inside as well at guard with his, again, with that frame. Measuring out with 33 5-inch arm, 5/8 inch arms. Everyone's going to be like, yo, this guy sucked against Ebukati. This guy sucked against Michigan. And those were a bit of his rough games. Yes, they were. But still, like a guy with his type of just his frame, his size, the explosiveness he actually gets out of in his stance, does need to do a better job using his hands. He kind of opens up the strike zone, the chest there for guys to get into. He does have a bit of a wide base, kind of limits that short area quicks. Because like I said, guy gets off well. But I think he can work on the base. That's why I put Project Tackle. Probably start him right away at guard. And eventually could be a tackle for a squad. I like the ability here. Hey, man, early in the year, people were talking about this cat in the first round. Like, it's there. I think it needs a little bit more polish. And then at number 12, Jamaree Salyer. I know Georgia's pro day happened yesterday. Haven't got those numbers yet, so all I have is the bench for Mr. Salyer. But 31, I think that was the most of any of the... No, it was the second. He was tied for second most among the interior prospects because Johnson's a beast. But Salyer was a guy, man, at Georgia. Often... he played left tackle, and often he either had a tight end or even two tight ends to his side. Essentially, it felt like he was playing an interior role there at tackle. He didn't have very many true one-on-ones. People be like, oh, well, look what he did at Aiden Hutchinson. Put him right on his keister. Yes, he did. That was one rep. A lot of that game, they schemed away from Aiden Hutchinson, so calm down. But... I like the move when he came to the Senior Bowl and he was like, no, I'm going to be a guard. And I'm like, yes, you are. Thank you. I've been saying this all season. Thank you. But he was way more impressive than I anticipated because he is kind of a bit of a phone booth guy. Like, he's got good length. He's got a good frame, but he's kind of a slog of a player, man. He's a guy that like likes to keep things in front of him and kind of just like hit him. Berate him with his hands. He's a mover in the run game in terms of making other men move against their will, but he is a limited athlete. So I thought a move to the guard position was ideal, and it looked smooth because essentially he has been playing the guard position at Georgia. It's just labeled left tackle. Oh, man. But... yeah, no, he did a better job at Senior Bowl, sitting in his stance, not just like playing high. Playing high was an issue out there at tackle. Didn't really show the waist bending there on the interior at the Senior Bowl. That were some of the like concerns I had for him. So I like that. I like that he moved to the interior gap scheme guard. This dude just get him in front of someone and just tell him to go hit him. That's who he is, and I like that. I like that about him. So I got him here at 12. Number 11, Dylan Parham, another guy that had a hot rise at the Senior Bowl. Quite frankly, he came in, like, I kind of, like, shunned him, I guess, because I was like, dude, he's 285. There's no way a guy with that type of size is going to, like, make it in the NFL. Like, he's, like, a center-only prospect. Then he came into the Senior Bowl weighing almost 30 pounds more, and I was like, what? I was like, oh, he's not going to retain a lot of that athleticism that was very appealing, very tantalizing, but he did. He looked pretty darn good, and I was like, I like this cat. This is the player that like you saw there at Memphis, just weighs more, but still moves the same. He did a good job at just manhandling interior rushers at the Senior Bowl. Won a lot of the one-on-ones. I was pretty impressed. Went to the combine, impressed even more. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. Just look at it. A 4.93, 26.5 in the vert. He had one of the lowest. He was among the lowest in the short shuttle with 4.7. I mean, there was like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 guys that beat him in the short shuttle, but still, that's pretty darn impressive. The movement skills looked great. I liked him in the some of the drills, and just, yeah, overall, I was pretty darn impressed with this cat. He has experience all over the offensive line. Granted, he came from a very gimmick offense there at Memphis, but he has over 2,500 snaps at both guard positions. He has 850 at right tackle. He played a bit at center. Did that a lot during the Senior Bowl. Technique could be a bit everywhere, but like I didn't worry about this cat's play strength, and I knew this guy can move. So yeah, I like him. I like him a lot. He's here at 61 on my list. And then number 10, I got Tyler Smith, the guy that's hot rising. Really thought he should have probably came out in next year's draft, because then he would have been afforded a Senior Bowl like his teammate Chris Paul, but he didn't get that, unfortunately. So I don't know, man. I don't know if he how high can he go, but I got him as a top 50 prospect. I like the length, 34-inch arms for a guy that is 6'5", 324. He moves particularly pretty darn well. He moves that weight very well. Still, I think he's a bit clunky, at least in some of the other drills. But like you could tell that there's some athleticism there for a guy his size, and I like that. Penalties were a big issue this past season. Like, where is it? How am I not going to put that up there? I'm pretty sure it was like, there it is. Okay. So while he only allowed 2 sacks alone through his career, he had 16 penalties alone in 2021. And a lot of that was dealing with speedier, bendier rushers. And he just ended up hooking on and holding rather than, properly mirroring the guys and then riding them past the pocket. So I think he can play tackle. I really do. That's why I put project tackle. I think he's guard early on, but I think he has the ability to be a tackle somewhere down the line. So big fan of this cat. Got him here at number 10. 49 overall on my big board. And then Abraham Lucas. He was a big winner from Senior Bowl to the Combine. He had the highest win rate at the Senior Bowl of any of the offensive linemen there. He looked amazing at the Combine, like straight up. Coming in with close to 34-inch arms, ran a 4.92. I think he was the quickest in the short shuttle. And he was definitely, he was pretty, no one was close. He was the quickest in the 3-cone outside of Trevor Pennon. A lot of people talk about him didn't really talk about him this year because it was like, yeah, he's like a solid right tackle, but not much of a ceiling. The floor's high, but the ceiling's low. I think the ceiling's a bit higher than we anticipate. Like, this cat, he might have a bit of a learning curve, which I don't even think so, because at the Senior Bowl, he looked pretty darn good. But you might think he might have a bit of a learning curve coming from like a formerly Mike Leach scheme where he predominantly played under Mike Leach outside of this past season. Coming from a scheme that doesn't have a lot of NFL blocking concepts, so you might worry about that. The only thing you really get there is true pass sets, which he was a beast at. But I think he's a bit more put together than what people think. I think the ceiling's a bit higher than what people think. I got him 45 on my big board. I think he could be a day one starter. I like Abraham Lucas. And then number 8, my boy Kenyon Green. I think there's still a chance this cat goes in the first round. I still like him because, listen, the combine, it looked like he was a bit not even overweight. It's about the shape he had during the year. Just some people were like, oh, he came in out of shape. And I don't think that's the case, man. Like, I just think, you know what? Maybe, like, this cat, I just don't think he was, like, his testing numbers, they're all above average for the position. They're just not, like, blow you away type of numbers of some of these other guys in this class. But he's got incredible length there on the interior. Like, the vert was solid enough. Like, it's not, like, blow your pants off, Sean Ryan type of vert. But he was kind of slow actually in the short shuttle, but this guy's just been a good player, man, his whole career. He's now probably a guard only. I did have dreams that he could be a tackle, but not with the way he moved. But yeah, I like him in his own blocking scheme. That's where he kind of came out of at Texas A&M. He's a guy that actually does pretty well in movement. He played all over the offensive line this past year, which I really think hurt him. Having to move around. Like, he started the year at right tackle. Actually had his best games of the year there at right tackle. Moved to right guard. Moved to left guard for a little bit. Played left tackle in a few games. I mean, there's games where he played like 3 different positions. Hey, Gojo. 3 different positions. That's ridiculous. Like, I really think the Aggies kind of did him dirty this past year. And I kind of get it. They lost like 4 starters to the NFL last year, but I still think Kenyon Green, I still think this cat could go in the first round, late first. If not, he's a good get early second. I got him 34 on my big board. Still young, too, 21. By the way, the ages, this is how old they'll be by the time of the season opener. Then Trevor Pennon coming here at number 7. Like my little intro narrator. But the dude tested out like a freak. 6'7", 325. Ran a 4.89 in the 40, 28 on the vert, 111 inches on the broad. The 725 was, again, tied for the best time with Abraham Lucas at the 3 cone. And he had a solid enough short shuttle. What Pennon likes to do, he likes to hit. He's going to come in a very good run blocker. He's a mauler. Like we saw at the Senior Bowl. This guy, he plays past the whistle. He plays with a nasty mentality. Probably the most nasty mentality in this whole class. The NFL is going to love that. But he's a guy that's going to draw as many penalties as he commits. He is far from a polished prospect. He had 34 penalties over the course of his career. He's a guy that, again, he made Bruce Feldman's freaks list for his speed and explosiveness. We saw that the combine. We saw the upside at the at the Senior Bowl, but I think he's not polished yet. Obviously, he's got good length, not polished. I think because like you'll look at like his tape right from Northern Iowa, and there's a lot of times where he moves his feet quick. It's like, oh, he's got quick feet, but what are you doing with your feet? It's like you're dancing. There's no purpose. There's no intention in how he moves. That's the thing. Like, and this is all in pass protection. Like there's a lot of, when he's a run blocking, there's a lot of purpose there. So, yeah, that's just a few of the things. I think he's a bit more of a guy you got to develop. You might not want to start him day one at tackle, but you can. And I think in a gap blocking scheme. How the hell do you word it? I think, hey, just throw a guy in front of him and tell him to go hit him. That's kind of his style. So that's why I got him here as 26 on my big board. Probably ends up going a lot higher than this again. Just seems like the NFL is going to really love him. Hey, buddy, you want to come up here? You wanna be in the video? Okay, Gojo, fine. We're going to number 6 then. Do you want to announce number 6? He wants to announce number 6. He says it's Zion Johnson. You love Zion Johnson, don't you? Yeah, he does. He's a big Zion Johnson fan and a Chiefs fan. One hell of a dog. Bandwagon fan, that's what he is. Zion Johnson had a hell. No kissing me while I'm talking, buddy. Hell of a combine. 40 time, still pretty solid, 5'8", like 5'18", it's not like, oh man, these other guys like Abraham Lucas and Trevor Penning and who else? Kellen Diesch. These guys were moving. Okay, I can't have you kissing me, bud, while I'm talking. But still, 5'18", it's not a bad time. That's still a plus time for an interior guy and for a tackle prospect, by the way. It's an above average time. 32 reps on the bench. That was the most of the interiors. And actually, I think that was, it was most of the offensive line in general. So good on you. He had 112 at the broad. The cone was insane. 378. Short shuttle was nice. Like, I think I put any role because I really think this guy could probably play tackle if you want him to. I think he could be a starter wherever you want him to on the offensive line and be solid. Some people are going to be like, oh, man, what's his ceiling? But it's like, dude's got 34-inch arms. Like, this guy kind of feels like the limit, for him. So I got him here at 23 on my big board. I might end up putting him higher. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I'm a big fan of Zion Johnson. So, yeah. Number 5, Bernhard Raimann. Some people don't like him. They're like, oh, he's too old. Keep in mind, this guy started playing the tackle position all of 2 years ago. He was a tight end, and he played it at a very high level. Granted, it's at Central Michigan. But then he went to the Senior Bowl. I don't think he looked out of place. Yeah, he won some. He lost some. You could say the same thing about Trevor Penning. And he actually had Bernhard Raimann had the better win rate there at the Senior Bowl than said Trevor Penning. I knew Raimann was going to look like a freak because like this cat can bench. You look at 6'6", 303, man, he's probably gonna be benching like in the 20s, maybe like 21, 22. But nah, he put up 30. The dude's strong. I wish there would be more pop behind his hands, but if he latches onto you, good luck getting free. He had a good time. The vert, I thought he was I think he was the second highest among the offensive linemen. Fourth highest, excuse me. Fourth highest of the offensive linemen. But still, impressive, 117 in the broad. That was actually the highest of anyone there. And then he showed off the skills in the 3-cone and the short shuttle. Like, I think he could be a starter from day one. Some people disagree. I got him at 16 on my big board. If he's available for the Dolphins, I'd gladly take him. And I'm not a fan of the Dolphins having to take offensive linemen. I'm tired of the inexperience, honestly. But I think Raimann, I might make an exception for. So I do like him in an outside zone blocking scheme, though. I like this guy just because the movement skills are unreal. Former tight end, At number 4, Tyler Linderbaum. Still a fan. Got him at 12 on my big board. Probably a zone-only center, but we'll see. We'll see how he tests out. Couldn't test the combine as he was still recovering from I think it was like a quad injury. But he came in 3 pounds higher than his playing weight. That's a plus. That's good, right? I think that's good. The length was less than ideal for a lot of people, 31 and 1/8. But that's why he's probably a center-only prospect. Don't know if he could really play guard. I mean, I won't put it out of the books because this guy's a great athlete. And, like, he's very good with his hands. He's very precise. He's quick. He's got quick feet. He can be a mauler. Just, like, this guy's a former wrestler. He was one of the best run blocking centers in all of college football the last few seasons. Like, a lot of people are, like, the first guy in their head, oh, this is a Garrett Bradbury all over again. I think he's a lot closer to Jason Kelce than Garrett Bradbury. I'm just going to say that. I'm not saying he is Jason Kelce, Just saying, if we're trying to compare undersized centers coming into the NFL, I think he's closer to Kelsey than he is to Bradbury. I'm a big fan of Linderbaum. It'll be interesting to see where he falls in the draft. So, yeah. And then we already know who the top three are, but what order? Well, Charles Cross, he starts here at number 3. He is number 8 on my big board. I got him here as an all-around tackle because I really think he could play in whatever scheme you want him to. He is coming from an air raid offense under Mike Leach where, hey, he kind of like hangs you out to dry. But he had to do that against the best of the best in the SEC. And in year 1 of doing that, it was rough. 44 pressures, and he allowed 6 sacks in 2020. But those numbers got much better, where he only allowed 14 pressures and 2 sacks in 2021. Legitimately cut those numbers down by a large margin. This guy's got good athletic upside. 4'9", 540. 26 on the vert. While the 3-cone and the shuttle weren't as impressive as you would expect, that is something I think he needs to work on, because I don't like he is. While his feet move, I think let's just say he needs to work on footwork. Let's go with that. I think he needs to work on footwork. And with the 3-cone, a lot of that is technique, how you take those angles. But you could tell that was something he needs to work on at the just this past season, where sometimes his kickback in pass protection, he's almost jumping back into the quarterback's lap, what it feels like. Or his kick out, he's taking this huge step and he's kind of enabling guys to be like, okay, I'll just take the inside from you. So a lot of that I think he needs to work on his base and his footwork in general, his get off, his overall approach and that. But like, the dude's got the length, he's got the athleticism. Like, his strength was a lot better than I anticipated. Like, I thought his anchor was going to be a problem. I thought his core strength was going to be a problem. And it looked like after week 1 it would be, but then he cleaned up real well. He did all this in the SEC. He's a very impressive prospect, a guy that is not even touching, I think, scratching the surface of what he's capable of. So he is here at number 3, number 8 on the big board. And then at Ken McWanu, number 5 on my big board, number 2 in this list. I love the sticky, icky. I put here inside zone blocker. He's a guy that even in a gap scheme, I think he would work out great because he plays well with guys in front of him. Like, he's always looking for someone to bury. And for me, there's a little concern how that might work out for him in an outside zone blocking scheme, where it's like, yeah, you know what, at guard, that might be a bit more of a problem because you're pulling more laterally than normally the tackle is sometimes. But I don't think it'll be a problem. I just think ideally inside zone blocker would be great because this dude is quick. He's got some quicks to him. Became a better pass protector this year playing left tackle. That was a lot of thing was like pass protection. He needs to work on it. A lot of people saw him moving into guard, and then he came out and improved so much as a pass protector, from his stance, his footwork, to just using his body in unison, delivering, bam, stiff blows. And then, like, it was just impressive, man. It's just impressive. He does, again, not finished prospect, needs some polish, but you're gonna love him athletically. He actually came in and ran faster than I said Charles Cross, at about 3 pounds heavier. To be fair, Cross is a bit taller, but hey, they're both great prospects. Love who you love. And then Evan Neal, of course, is my number 1. Didn't get a chance to test out, as he was still like, what he said, he was like, listen, I took some time off after a long season, and now I'm getting ready. I will perform at my pro day. A lot of technique goes into these drills, all of them, actually. So I want to prepare for that, but I took the necessary rest after a long, fruitful season. Hey, I ain't gonna hate. I'm a big fan of Evan Neal. He will only be 20 by the time of the NFL season if I did my math correctly. But he's one of my favorite prospects, dude. 34-inch arms. He played right tackle at a high level. Initially started in Alabama in 2019, I believe, at guard. Moved to right tackle in 2020, and then 2021 moved to left tackle. And just was great, dude. He has yet to, he didn't allow a sack at all this past season. At least that's what I put in my notes. I said he has yet to allow a sack in 2021. So, take that for as you may. Maybe that's 8 games into the year. But this guy's got great athleticism. You can go turn on go on Twitter and look up a video of him doing alternating and lunging box jumps. It's ridiculous. This guy should pop off on his pro day. But there are going to be people that think he plays, they'll say, out of control or off balance, and because he can play ahead of himself at times. And that was more 2020 than it was 2021. He was a bit of a lunger. I guess that's kind of what I call it. I say these guys are a bit of a lunger. They like to get out and lay the hit. So typically they lead with the top part of their body. And typically those guys, if you get them out in front of you, rather than put their hands on the first guy they see, they're going to straight dive and try to lay out these guys. So I call those guys lungers. I don't think that was a lot of the case this year. I thought he was very much improved. I thought he looked very good. It's still an area he's getting better at, playing less in front of himself. But, hey, this dude is a raw power. I love the athleticism. He's number 2 on my big board as of right now. Evan Neal, man. I love that cat. Let me know who you think should have been included on this list. Obviously, there's a lot of great interior prospects, I feel, in this class. And there's guys like Daniel Falalele, who missed out on the list, who was, he's literally my tackle 10. But, hey, when I do 15 of just O-linemen, he just missed out, man. So let me know who some other guys that you're pretty high on in this class. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. As always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.